All right. It says we're live.
Oh, we're live. Farley's Nerdcave.
What's going on, everybody? Let me get this thing going. Get some comments here going, hopefully. Hopefully some people will show up. I had a couple of people waiting. So it looks like there's two here. So you want to go ahead and get started? You want to wait a few?
I'm about. Go for it. We are on.
All right. So everybody, I am proud to have my very first interview on my YouTube channel. And tonight we are going to be talking to Wild Bill Tressler, guitarist for the band Animosity. Yeah. And plenty of other projects he's been involved with, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But first off, Bill, is there anything you want to say? Introductions?
Well, first off, I'm so happy to be in the Nerd Cave, man. I love your channel. I kind of have a thing like the Nerd Cave here. It's more like the Perv Cave. Collects most of my DNA. I don't think many people would want to see that, though. I would like to say I'd like to give your listeners, your viewers, a warning. Well, not so much a warning, really, as a challenge. I have a tendency to say a lot. I mean fucking a lot. So I was thinking, let's make this a drinking game. Every time you hear the dumbass say I say you do a shot, you hit your doob, take off an article of clothing. I will get you pickled by the end of this interview, I swear to God. So I'm going to start you off. That's 3 you owe me now. All right. And now I would also like to do a shout out, if you don't mind.
You go ahead.
People I want to mention. My beautiful wife, Jennifer, who's sitting over here. My kids, Nikki, Charlie Bwee, my daughter Aritha. I want to mention my friends, Dark Mark Carroll from Pueblo, Warren Warcore from Colorado Springs, Clinton Hoffman from New York, Thomas Holdner, Ben Diamond from the West Coast, and my hero of all times, Big Bad Dan Kurtz from Eden, Oklahoma, from the band Oliver Magnum. I love you. I love you guys. And I want to give a big shout out to you, Farley, you and your subscribers, because what you are doing is so fucking important in this day and age. I mean, we're in a COVID world now. People are walking around wearing all the wrong masks. I don't see one bondage mask of the whole bunch. No one's walking around with, full hazmat suits. The germaphobes have control, and we're being fucking denied music. We're being denied live music. You know how long it's been since I've seen a concert? A year at least. I mean, I miss sweaty mosh pits, drunk guys spilling their fucking beers on you, girls showing their titties. I miss it all so much. So what you're doing, my friend, is fucking important. Channels like yours, other channels, but your channel in particular, you're providing us fans with the needed content, man. I mean, the music that we're being denied, I can't thank you enough for giving that to us. So you're an unsung hero, Farley. So I'm singing you. And I got nothing but love for you, man. To you, to your viewers, you're up, man. Cool. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here, man. So, real quick, it's probably been a few months ago. I got a comment on my Animosity rip from Bill, and ever since then we've communicated. Here in the last couple of weeks, it's kind of grown, and I just want to say thank you to you for being number one, one of my heroes from the metal scene. And then two, just being an awesome dude, man. You're funny, but you're down to earth, love metal. You love music, man. You're so energetic, and full of, this spirit that sometimes I feel is kind of lacking these days in the metal scene, man. So I'm glad to know you, and I'm glad to call you a friend now. And I do appreciate you being so cool and, coming to do this interview, and, just thanks, man. It's awesome. And I'm
no
happy
problem
to do what I do because metal saved my life, man.
Dude, me too. I appreciate you. I'm having a great time. I mean, everything cool, all good things, man. Hell yeah.
And I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of guys that have come on that have been supportive of my channel too, that have commented, raining on your parade. Funny dude, man, loves metal. Gray Man, he's a dude from over in the UK. He's funny, and he's carrying on the spirit of metal. He's also into comics and stuff. So thank you, and then whoever else is here for coming. And I'm stoked to be doing this. Like I say, my first interview, I couldn't be happier.
First interview, you know, this is my first time being interviewed on the internet. You're getting my cherry too.
I'm known for that. Oh, and by the way, another one of my buddies, Grease Paint and Monkey Brains is here. His real name's Chris as well. Great channel. He was actually the roadie for a time for Charlie Benante of Anthrax. So he's a cool
Really?
Kid. Yes.
That's cool. You can get no higher than that. Charlie Benante's the man.
And I just saw a thing.
Plays a mean guitar.
I just saw a thing he put out. I haven't read the full article yet, but he was talking about Neil Peart's drum solo. He always felt like it was off somewhere. And so I haven't read the full article, but apparently he told Neil that, but I haven't read his response. So if anyone else
really,
that article,
dude, Charlie, no one can beat him. He's the man. No cheat Charlie, they call him. Yeah, no cheat Charlie, they call him because he's so fast. His hi-hat is so fast. And he also plays some mean guitar too, man. I mean, from SOD. Yep. I mean, I love that shit, man. He's one of my heroes too.
All right, so we're going to get started. Anybody that's out there in the chat, if you have questions, feel free to throw them up, and we'll include those as well. So I just want to start out with, can you just give me like a history of Animosity, how it started, how you guys came together, when this was, and kind of how it happened?
Certainly. Scandalous, the whole thing. Okay, about the end of '87, I started a band, my first band called Genoblast. Started it with my drummer Tony Terranova, my sister's boyfriend when she was into guys, Mike Hansen, and this guy from Pueblo named Sean Russell who played bass was commuting up to do that. We put out a demo tape called "Eat My Fuck and Live." At the time, DJ's nightclub in Colorado Springs was the only fucking place to play. I mean, you could go to the Gardens, but only if you knew like a 3-hour set of top 40 tunes. Who the fuck's got time for that? So we were really proud of this little demo. I took it into DJ's nightclub. The owner was Wendy Pearlstein. Wendy Pearlstein would also come to own Mosh Pit Records, Pit Magazine, become our manager. I didn't know that at the time. Just wanted to play DJs. One of my big goals of all time. Gave her the tape. Said, "You ever need an opening band? We're your ones, man. Call us." So she gave this tape to her friends Scott and Hale. They were in another band called Violence, not Violence, just regular Violence. I don't even really know if they were a band. I think they were maybe just a band in name. But they heard us and they were like, "Ooh, they got the scheming." They wanted us. So, pardon me. So Tony was in DJs one night because they did all ages back then, sometimes. And he was talking to Scott, and Scott said, "Well, I heard your bass player quit." And we were like, "No, didn't hear that." And he said, "Oh, yeah, Sean was in here just the other day." And he said, "He's done with you fuckers. He didn't want to commute up from Pueblo anymore. So I don't think you got a bass player. Do you want a bass player?" And so Tony was like, "Well, yeah, let me talk to Bill about it." Came and talked to me. I heard that. I was like, "Well, fuck Sean. This guy plays bass. Bring him on over. Let's try him out." So the next day, Scott came over, and he had just monster equipment, man. And he can play the shit. He was really good. So I was like, "This is fucking cool. Great. We got a new bass player." The next day, he brings his buddy Hale. Now, Hale, our vocalist, was a monster. This dude comes over. He's like 6'2". He's got jet black hair, spiked like Nikki Sixx, wearing these fucking gauntlets of fucking, Christmas spikes. Just a big boy. And I'm like, whoa, what does that guy do? I asked him, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a singer." I was like, I was looking to untie myself from the microphone because in Genoblast I was doing vocals and guitar. And I wanted to untether myself from the microphone so I could thrash around. So I said, "Well, let's try you out." He brought over his equipment, and he had godlike equipment too. They were older guys, compared to us. So it's all going good. We practiced for about a week. About a week later, Sean Russell, our bass player, shows up. He's got his gear. And I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, here to practice." I said, "You quit." He's like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Well, what the hell's going on, man?" And then we found out, we must have been taken through deceit. So I talked to Tony. He's like, "Well, man, we might be able to play DJs. You know, Sean's kind of iffy. He doesn't show up all the time. These guys have great equipment. Let's go with it. And I was like, okay. So we let Sean go. Sean was magnanimous about it. He was like, yeah, well, it's kind of tough on the money coming up here to practice all the time. So we parted ways. And so it was, you know, with Scott Hale, Tony, and I, and we still had my sister's boyfriend when she was still into guys. Keep on mentioning that. But so they call us over for a band meeting. This is funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but called just Tony and I over. And we go over, and man, they get us higher than shit. I mean, smoke up some good bud. We're just like seeing Aztec temples, man. And then they hit it up. We went over to Wendy's house, actually, owner of DJs. Can get no higher than that, literally. And they hit up with us. They said, well, okay, how about this? We're going to get shows at DJs, but we want Wendy to be the manager. We have to change the name of the band, and you have to kick out your the other guitarist. And I was like, fuck to the you. You know, I mean, what the hell? The way I saw it, they were visiting a country I was president in, man. But then, drink. Tony pulls me aside and, come on, man, we can play DJs. It's our goal. And just do it. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll go through with it. So I hated these fuckers for the first month until we got our first show. Our first show was with Paul Diano's Battle Zone and Obsession at DJ's Nightclub. The last show DJ's Nightclub ever had. We played it, and I didn't so much hate them after then. But I never got to tell the story before, so there you go. Bing! Thanks a lot, guys. But the rest, as they say, is history. And then
so we started playing with the Battle Zone.
You know, it was pretty cool. First show for me, you know, well, we played a party in General Blast, but it was my first show, so I was first time at DJs. I'd seen some killer shows there. I'd seen Slayer, Megadeth, Dark Angel, Possessed, Grim Reaper. So Wrathchild America. You could go no higher than this. So I was like, oh my God, we're playing DJs. Oh shit, we're playing DJs. So I went up there, man, and that's when I realized I don't have stage fright. I have stage wood. Boom. You know, I love being on stage, man. And so it was cool. Paul Diano was cool. He was this old cheesy old Brit that was running around. He's trying to fuck Wendy, which was funny because Wendy kind of looked like the singer for Sabbath. And I was like, well, how are you going to do that, man? I even tried jerking off to her one time to see if I could take one for the team, and I couldn't. So I was like, God love you, man. But so no, he was pretty cool. That I don't want to know. I remember that song. It was really cool. It was Valentine's Day, I think, in 1988. That's 1988 there, kids. That's about a million years ago. Yeah, so it was cool. And then after that, in short order, we recorded the Pit Fiend 7-inch, 3 songs of pure madness. And then we kept on getting show after show. We would do local shows. We would actually, at the time, after DJs closed, there was no place to play. So we would have to hold parties. We would rent out warehouse spaces, places where you store your stuff, storage spaces. We would hold kegs there. The cops would come. 3 bands would play, and those were our shows back in the day. We even played a couple times with a generator at this field behind Texas Instruments. We called it TI. We'd bring a few kegs there, throw down with bands like Sinister Creed, Havoc, Strychnine, just dudes from local dudes, have a good time. Eventually, we hooked up another guitarist. We stole Nick Nichols from the band Lee's Majesty, and we recorded "Get Off My Back." And that's the big one there. That was a lot of people. Over the years, I've gotten bad reviews about it. Just it's too short, cheesy album cover, whatever. But I'm really proud of it, man. I dig it. Wendy sunk some money into it. We recorded our asses off. Rich Mauser was the producer, the engineer, kicked ass. I still love it, man. I listen to it and I still get chill bumps. And it's just because it's like the sense memory of it. I remember where I was when I did that, when I wrote that, when I was there doing that, working on the fucking album cover. It was a good time, man. It was quintessential time in my life. And that's about it. That's the whole shebang.
Well, I can tell you that's it's a top 5 metal EP for me. I picked it up. I want to say 90 on cassette was the first time I had it. And there was a article. I can't remember what magazine. My memory is getting a lot worse, but I do remember reading an article on it and grabbing it, and I played the hell out of it. I still do. It was one of the vinyl records when I decided to get back into vinyl 5 or 6 years ago. It was definitely one that I wanted to pick up, and was lucky enough to find it because the vinyl is a little bit hard to find. I could have picked up the cassette, but I really wanted that vinyl, man. And let me tell you, the riffs on that thing, man, even though it's an EP, there's 2 albums full of fantastic riffs on that thing. I love the time changes. I think it's just a classic thrash anthem of an EP, man. And like I say, it's kind of like Rain and Blood. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, what when they knock, the few people that knock Rain and Blood, it's always that it's an EP. It's not a full album. Take all the riffs on that thing and compare it to any full-length thrash album, and it would kick it most of the albums. Those albums.
Fucking A right, man.
So,
absolutely. No, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. And, you know, just the fact that you used Animosity in the same fucking sentence as Slayer and Rain and Blood, man, that gives me a stiffy. It's going to probably make me lightheaded here coming, because that's cool. That's one of my favorite albums, too, of all times. Really is, man.
Oh, man, if it's 26 minutes and as good as that album is, I'll take it even if it's an EP from Slayer, because that album musically is just fucking on another plane, man.
Dude, it rolls over everything else. I used to play the fucking record on like 78 RPMs and like try to steal riffs. Like, yeah, man, that's even cooler, man. But no, I mean, that's a godlike album. I can still hear it right now every day and just love it no matter what. That's the kind of music you go to fucking war over, you know? I mean, just the opening riff alone, man. You're just 26 minutes later, you're fucking you're spent. It's like, yeah. And like I said, live, they played the whole fucking thing. I love that Still Raining, when they came out with that DVD, Still Raining, and they played I was amazed. Dave Lombardo,
wasn't it?
Yeah, where they rained blood.
Yeah. Holy shit.
It was amazing. I picked it up. I thought it was just a CD, and I came home and was like, DVD. I was like, oh, I was just amazed. I love it. So yes, I'm there with you, man. You're a true lover of metal and music, just by knowing that.
Tell me about the band itself, Animosity. What were your guys' biggest influences at the time, musically?
Well, let's see. It was always kind of, at the time, it was harder, louder, faster. You know, I liked anything that really got in your head. Rain and Blood, for sure, was one of them. Now, Scott and Hale, they were from a different kind. I mean, like, Hale was really into Guns N' Roses. They kind of liked that, but they were still into thrash metal. I think we kind of booted them into another level of that. But, one of my influences at that time was Creator. Millie Petroza from Creator was just my hero. I loved him, man. And many, not much longer after we got together, I was writing for Pit Magazine, and I got to interview Millie in their tour bus. And it was one of the coolest times of my life, man, because I got to sit down. He took me in the back of the bus where there was nobody, where it was quiet. I put the recorder on, and I got to ask him every fucking question I ever had. And he was the nicest guy ever. Just cool. Just so unlike his stage persona. So I loved Creator. I started getting into a hardcore punk about that time too. Was really, really big on The Accused, Maddest Stories Ever Told. Loved No Effects. Big time on just that grinding shit. Mr. Bungle's first album started getting weird. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we did a show once with Sacred Reich, Forbidden, and Faith No More. And Faith No More in Denver just got shit thrown at them. People hated them. Yeah, they took it really well. I mean, they were cool about it, but God, Mike Patton is just an amazing vocalist, so especially on that first album. I mean, that is the one album you have to eat acid and listen to. I'm sorry. Kids, don't eat acid and listen to music, but if you do, that's the one you want to do it too, you know? So, yeah, those are our influences. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains. I mean, I still listen to that and get chill bumps. Andreas Kisser is the man. The Cavalera brothers are still my heroes. Igor and Max. Fuck, when Max came out with Nail Bomb, that's one of my 5 top right there.
I have that. Yeah.
Point Blank is the shit.
Yes.
Really, dude. Yes. 2 fucking guys did that, man. With fucking, with a 4-track or whatever they did, but they with a drum machine. I was amazed. I love it, man. That's the shit. But yeah, harder, louder, faster. That's what it was.
Now, you mentioned before about Battlezone. Can you give some other bands y'all toured with or shared a bill with?
Oh man, we played a lot back in those days. Now, one of our biggest shows was King Diamond during the Abigail tour.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy. Well, a lot of years before that, Tony and I, the drummer, the earliest drummer for Animosity, we went and we saw Merciful Fate in Denver at the Rainbow Theater. And there was a Denver band that opened for them, I think called Surge. And they got fucking booed off the stage. People threw shit at them, hated them, and they were a decent metal band. But I remember nudging Tony. I said, "We ever open for this fucking guy? That's not going to happen to us." So here we are, the regular lineup, the one on the album, getting ready to open for King Diamond. And I remembered that. I was like, "Fuck, this is put up or shut up now." I've got to see if I can, because it was about 900 people there, held in this old ancient theater called the Aztlan. Just crumbling and shit. We had like maybe a foot worth of stage that we had because they kept their back line up. And of course, he had all of his theatric shit. So we're on like the edge of the shit. And we had like the drummer on one side, and then we were all lined up, like, in single file line. And we fucking threw down. That crowd loved us. Meanwhile, while I'm on stage, my car's in the parking lot getting broken into. These fuckers broke my wing window. They took my bong, took my weed, took my leather jacket, my tapes, my radio. And it was the middle of winter, so I had to drive home from that, freezing my ass off. But I would not change it for a moment because that was pretty cool. King Diamond was awesome. Yeah. Dude, heavy. We opened for Nuclear Assault. That was really cool.
That's another one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. I mean, then some lame ones like Leatherwolf, but it seemed like every other weekend we had a good show. Well, I'm blanking a little bit. Sacred Reich. We did a little, like, maybe 4 or 5 date tour with Sacred Reich. That was kind of cool. I did play. Like I said, played with Forbidden, Faith No More. That was crazy. Just man, I'm blanking right now, but we had a lot of shows we did. It was really cool. Man.
I had a chance to see Sacred Reich on their new album they released.
Really?
I think it's probably my last concert before COVID. And have you heard the new album?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it really good?
Yeah, and they're reissuing. If anybody cares, they're reissuing. They're already reissued the first 3 Sacred Reich albums in the Surf Nicaragua EP.
Oh, really? See, that's when we went on tour when they released Surf Nicaragua, and it was badass, man. I mean,
yes. They they killed it. The only problem with them, I think the drummer actually ended up leaving. The drummer didn't look well at all, and he was the original.
Oh, really? The old drummer, Greg.
Greg,
he was badass though. Yeah, he was badass. I remember watching him live, and he was just an amazing drummer. And at the time, I was afraid if you drop your stick, you fuck up. Well, I watched that dude drop the stick, and he just laughed, and he'd play with one stick, reach over, grab something to drink, pick up another stick, and just throw the fuck down. I was like, well, that's how you fuck up there, man.
Real quick, I wanted to say, hey, Chris, Chaos and Comics, and then Gray Man said Sacred Reich he's seen in London 3 or 4 times. So I missed them first go around, so I had to wait all those years for them to release new material. So luckily they did. So I was stoked about that. But and again, everybody in the chat, hello. Feel free to ask questions, comments, or whatever. We appreciate you. And I'm just going to keep on. But like I say, if anybody has any questions, feel free. Is there any, I know you talked about Battlezone earlier. Is there any kind of stories from any of the tours or the shows that kind of stand out to you? that you can talk about?
Oh, I've got some stories, and I could talk about everything because we don't protect the identity of the innocent because there are no fucking innocent, man. Okay. All right, here's a good one. We were on the road with my favorite band in the world, Oliver Magnum. Oliver Magnum out of Enid, Oklahoma, power metal maniacs. It's just one of my favorite bands. So kind. So we're in Houston. Okay, Houston, we're playing the backstage. We throw the fuck down, man. We're opening that night. We used to just switch off with Oliver Magnum. Just an amazing live band. But we played, we kicked ass. We sold all of our merchandise, at least that we brought to the show. I had this statuesque, really, really beautiful stripper named Norelle. She grabs me by the wrist and pulls me in the woman's bathroom and puts some acid in my mouth. She goes, "Here, have some acid." I was like, "Okay, sure." And well, I'm tripping. I'm starting to feel it. We were in the parking lot doing our loadout, and I'm just starting to feel the humidity bubble all around me. All of a sudden, one of our roadies comes over and goes, "Scott's in a fight." Oh shit! So we all go running over there. Now Scott was hanging out with this guy, or he's hanging out next to this guy. Didn't know him from Adam, but some dudes started kicking his ass, and then they started fighting with Scott, thinking Scott knew him. Now Scott is a tough motherfucker. He's holding his own. Hale, here's the shit. Hale and our roadie Dan Whitlock go charging over. Now these are some bad motherfuckers. I mean, I watched them bloody up boys twice as big as them, and they're big boys. They go over there, start fucking these dudes up, man. It's a gang fight, man. I'm on acid just giggling, going, "This is fun." So all these guys, like about 6 or 7 or 8 of these guys that are getting their ass kicked, all pile into this one IROC, this little sweet sports car IROC. And so Hale and Scott are beating on the hood and the fucking roof, and this guy jams it in reverse and hits the car. Boom. Then he tries to hit Hale. So he goes, and he picks up and he hits the fucking wall. Boom. Crushes the front of his car. Puts it in reverse. Tries to hit Scott. Bam. Another car. Finally, he drives off, dragging the fucking fender, just sending sparks. And we're like tripping. And they're like, "Oh, ho, ho, ho." So we all pile in the van and go back to the Motel 6, which is a couple blocks away. We're all in the motel room, decompressing from the fight. They're all still charged about it. I'm sitting in the corner, fucking hallucinating. I've got Jimi Hendrix coming out of the fucking woodwork on the wall talking to me. He's like, "It ain't over yet, Bill. You know that." I'm like, "What you mean, Jimmy? It's all good." He's like, "No, they coming back, baby." I said, "No." So Pete goes outside, and then he comes in. He's like, "Wow, they're like 3 truckloads of dudes with baseball bats driving around the parking lot." So Wendy grabs him, pulls him in. "Get in here." They don't want to know where they're at. They don't want them to know where we're at. We're on the 3rd floor. And so Hale's putting on his goddamn shoes. He wants to go down and fight the lynch mob. Somehow Wendy prevailed on him. Don't fucking go down there and fuck with them. So they couldn't find us. So they got their retribution by throwing a big rock through a window, through the window, the windshield of our rented van. And that's what they got. So we had to leave town. I always said, if we play Houston again, we're going to have to come armed to the fucking teeth. We never did play Houston again, but I loved it. I loved the town. I was on acid. I didn't want to fight. Jimmy was right the whole time. He's like, "Told you, Billy, they're going to get you, and we'll be seeing you in a little bit." I'm like, "Fuck you. Go back into the woodwork, man."
We got a comment from Toaster Head. Says, "Fuck yeah, I love you, Bill."
Well, goddamn it. Thank you so much, man. I'm blowing kisses at you right now, too. Thank you so much. I got one. I'm here reading, what is this? Bip Bop Boom. Cool interview. I saw a lot of those bands in 85, 88, Battlezone, King Diamond. Sounds like Bill had the same taste as me back then. Cool guy. You're a fucking cool guy, too. I appreciate hearing it. I appreciate what you're doing, man. That's great. I'll give you another funny tour story if you want. This one was with Oliver Magnum again. Our first night of the tour, we played Enid, Oklahoma. It's a huge show. They rented out a roller rink, and about 800, 900 kids show up, man. It's just a great show. We're in the parking lot hanging out with Oliver Magnum. Now, Danny Kurtz is one of my favorite people in the world, just the funniest fucker ever, and very, very free and easy with his body, as you might say. So I'm walking up. He's there talking to Wendy. Wendy is very not into dudes at this age. She's just like one of the dudes, man. And I walk up, and Dan Kurtz pulls out his dick, and he starts like stretching it. And I walked up, and Wendy has this look like she didn't know what the hell. She's just mortified. And I was like, "I'll leave you two lovebirds alone." Walk the fuck away. A little bit later, Dan Kurtz comes up, and he's like, "Got my girlfriend passed out in the car." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you guys want to fuck her?" And we're like, "Nah, that's all right." And so what he ended up doing, he ended up taking his passed out drunk girlfriend and taking her over to his mom's house. His mom was passed out drunk too. And he put them in the same bed together. He stripped them, put them in the same bed together so they would wake up together thinking they had some lesbian tryst. That's the funniest thing. After that, we go over to their band house, and we go over to party at the band house. And just I'm just fucked up, hanging out, having a good time. Well, I'm walking by this one room, and Danny Kurtz is holding court there. He's got his back to the door, and he's got about 11 or 12 people surrounding, just listening, hanging on his every word. I look in, and he's got his dick out, and he's flicking it. And it was like, I don't know why, but everyone was just amazed by it. And I was like, I'll leave you little lovebirds alone. Just walk the fuck away. But these are the kind of things. They were such nice guys. They were so illustrative. They were generous with their time, with their expertise. They were a true band. They were excellent every night. Every night they fucking dusted us. But you couldn't tell that by talking to them. At the time, Pete and I were the young ones of the band, 17, 18. Every town we played, where we played at a club, a bar, we'd have to get a work permit. And the club owners just hated it. They were like, all right, well, since you got the work permit, we'll let you young fuckers in here. But, and so they were so nice. They took police girl and made her police woman when it comes to musicianship. And I am the musician that I am today because of them, because of Dan Kurtz, because of Monty, Mark. Their singer at the time was Jimmy, but Mark was their singer now. I love him. Kurt, their drummer. I mean, everybody, their road crew, they were just fantastic people. And I want to just send them, big old heart for them because they just rule. And that was it, man. Those are my tour stories. The ones I can tell.
Raining on Your Parade wants to know. He says you've played with some greats. What are some of your favorite beers?
My favorite beers. Now, I'm not really a beer drinker. I usually douse that shit with Clamato juice, man. And that'll make me like my mouth water like one of Pavlov's dogs just thinking about it. But when it comes to drinking, I've always been a Crown Royal guy, man. Give me some Crown Royal on the rocks. Big old Bloody Mary made with Clamato juice, and I'm there, man.
So you're a sipper or what? Are you a slow sipper, like a bourbon kind of guy too? Or
yeah, well, I used to drink that fucker like there was no tomorrow, man. Eventually, your taste in your liver won't allow that anymore. So yeah, I used to just drunk on just about anything: liquor, acid, meth, coke, mushrooms, whatever they had. I was like, handfuls of it. I'm from Colorado. We're a bunch of fucking maniacs up here, anyways. So I would have to say probably my favorite beer though would be Foster's. Foster's or Guinness. You got to give it up for Guinness just because.
Oh, the stout. I agree with you.
No, that's wrong because I snuck into a German Oktoberfest one time when I was 17, and I drank German dark ale, 12-point German dark ale, and it was so good. I got so fucked up, and I did the duck dance, all fucked up. The la 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 la.
Chicken dance.
Yeah, the chicken dance. Thank you. I didn't know what it's called. I've been calling it the duck dance all this time. But yeah, no. So that German dark ale served warm, fuck, man, knocked me on my ass, man. There for a while, we were corresponding with some kids in Siberia, Russia. We were sending them swag, T-shirts, and albums, and they would send us vodka. And their vodka had the Russian label on it. God, talk about good shit. I mean, like water. Drink that shit like water, and then you wake up. You look up, you feel something cold on your shoulder. You look over, it's the fucking floor. That's how good it was, man. So the kids don't drink.
Gray Man says, Gray Man does interviews too. He's done several. I've watched probably 4 or 5 with some bands. Like I'm trying to remember the name of the one, like the death metal band. I can't think of their name now, but he does really good interviews with some really cool people too. But the problem he's having is they don't have any cool tour stories because.
Oh, really? No one wants to talk about it. They want to protect the innocent. There's nobody the fucking innocent, man. I give up the ghost. So tell them if you have interviews.
Haven't toured yet, like because of COVID.
That's fucked up. Yeah, I mean, this whole COVID thing is just so fucked up. This social distancing. How are kids going to get laid? That's what I want to know. How are you going to fuck someone from 6 feet away? What the hell? I want a fucking show. I would rather have COVID and a fucking good sweaty mosh pit. Like I said, guys spilling their fucking beers on you, girls showing their titties. I always like being on stage personally because it was safer up there, man.
Oh, but, God.
I mean, this COVID thing is just a load of fuck, man. I mean, I know it's killing people. I know it's a bad thing. I think it's contrived. I think it's all the government. I think they're doing the culling, just like they've been talking about getting rid of the fucking 80% of the population of us useless eaters. They've been talking about the shit in their publications for 150 years about getting rid of us. Now they are. It's an act of God. Just like AIDS was an act of God, yet it killed blacks, junkies, and gays. And that seems pretty, specific to me. You're getting rid of all the people that are having fun, right? So I don't know, man.
Toasterhead says he'll give you a nickel for a shot of. No, yeah. Oh, he's saying you will give a nickel for a shot of dickel.
Yeah, Toasterhead said that. I know exactly what that's all about, man. I used to drink George Dickel, 90 proof. I'll give you a nickel for a shot of Dickel. Changed my mind. I'm fickle. I memorized the side of the bottle one time getting drunk. George Dickel never would settle for nothing less than the finest sipping whiskey that ever was. He set up down Tullahoma way because the Freestone water is pure, sweet, and iron-free. Then that's about as far as I got, and then I passed out.
Now, do you know Toasterhead? Do you know who that is?
I know Toasterhead. I love Toasterhead. They call him Toasterhead because back in the day, he had two mohawks like this, and he looked like a fucking toaster. No, man, I love Toasterhead. Toast, I'm glad you're listening. I love you, man. I watched him pierce his nipple one time at a party in Colorado Springs. Made the grossest sound ever. I mean, he just lit up a safety pin, put that fucker through. I was mortified, man. But no, he plays a mean sax. Love the shit. Good to hear you from you, Toasterhead. You're my favorite, man. Love you, baby.
So I'm going to switch now from Animosity to you. Can you tell me, like, what age did you start playing guitar?
I started playing about 11 or 12. And the reason I wanted to play guitar was because when I was a wee little nose picker, I heard a sound that changed my life. You know what sound I'm talking about, man. It's an electric guitar through an amplifier, a distortion pedal, and that power chord, man. That cha-chung. That sound, for some reason, skewered me. It was to change my life forever. It changed the clothes I wore, the people I wanted to hang out with, the things I would do, the girls I wanted to fuck. It changed everything. I don't know what it is about that sound. I don't even know how to describe it. That power chord through an amplified electric guitar with the distortion pedal. I think what it is, it's an anchor for all of us. Within this horrible, beautiful sound, you will find like-minded people and become a community. So the second I heard that sound, and gaily enough, I first heard that sound through the Rick Springfield song Jesse's Girl. The middle part with Danny. I mean, something made me go, what the hell? I love it. And I had to hear that sound every day of my life. So then I got into Kiss. The Kiss was like the first big start for me. I was a member of the Kiss Army in first grade. I still am. Unfortunately, I never rose above the rank of private first class, but that's okay. I'm never big in the military anyways. So about 11, then I started getting into AC/DC. Angus Young made me want to play guitar. I was like, that dude's badass. So I asked my mom and dad for an electric guitar. Lo and behold, they get me one. I got my first electric guitar was from a Finger Hut catalog.
Oh, no.
Just a nondescript electric guitar that came with a 5-watt amplifier. And for the first year and a half, I couldn't make the fucker work. I had no idea how to make that sound. I tried turning it up all the way and hitting all the strings. I tried screaming at it. That didn't work. I tried not playing it for a while. That really didn't work. So one day I'm sitting around strangling the cat in my bedroom. That's euphemism for jerking off. And then I got this fantastic idea. I looked around at all the posters on my walls, and I noticed that they were all making the same fucking fingering chord. They all had the same hand thing. I was like, well, what the hell? So I turned my amp on. I positioned my fingers on the fretboard like they had it, turned up the guitar, hit that fucker, about came, because it was a beautiful, that fucking power chord rang out, and I was like, oh my God, oh dear. So I had to make sure it wasn't a fluke, hit that fucker again, bang, my balls immediately inflated. I knew what it was to be a redwood among sprouts. I knew what the meaning of my life was. I could make that fucking sound. And I made that sound every day since then. And the first song I taught myself was a Ramones riff from the movie Rock and Roll High School. It was a I played that fucking thing for like a month straight just to feel it. And my friends were like, God damn, learn another riff. My family were like, shut this kid up. But I had found my calling. My sister's boyfriend, when she was still into guys, taught me my first song, which was Whiplash from Metallica.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's a hell of a part song.
Well, I was into double picking. I wanted to beat that thing like it owed me money, own it like I bone it. And I was into that. First guitar lead I ever taught myself was off that album. I taught myself the lead for Four Horsemen. I stayed home from school. That day I was still in high school, and I taught myself that fucking lead, man. And I was just prouder and shit of it, man. But I've been making that sound, hearing that sound, living that sound ever since. You know what I'm talking about, man, don't you?
Oh, hell
that fucking metal sound. Well, why did it affect you? I mean, what the fuck is it about that sound? I can't figure it out. Only that it separates us from the lesser thans, because the ones that hate that sound fucking hate it. No. They do back handsprings to get away from it, man. But the ones who love it can't get enough of it. And I'm one of those, man. We are united in that.
My power chords on acoustic. And so,
what?
Yeah, power chords on acoustic guitar. And so when I finally got an electric with the distortion pedal and I did it, I was like, oh, this shit's on now. But I didn't really we are brothers, man. We are brothers from different mothers. That's all, man. I think everybody has that story too. Anyone who's affected by that noise, anyone who makes that sound, there's a reason they make that sound. It's just something about it just vibrates my genitals, man. Yeah. I just fucking love it. It's like it's your calling. Like, oh shit, I just found my calling.
Yeah, like I said, it's under this sound, you will find a beautiful underground community, and you will flourish.
I got a couple of comments and a question here. First off, Gray Man says his brother, I think he's talking about piercing his nipple, did his own nipple. John Bitbop Boom says that the sound we're talking about with the power chord is the sound of freedom.
Fucking A.
Raining on Your Parade wants to know, are there any bands that you've seen that are rare and you feel are underrated from your area?
Oliver Magnum, straight up. Greatest power metal band ever from Enid, Oklahoma. Never got up there. I mean, they were on tour with Pantera when Pantera was still Glamterra. Go listen, download their album, self-titled, get Drive By. They're amazing musicians, and just know that even if you're not into that, if you like the death metal singing, because they have a good melodic singer, they are the nicest fucking guys ever. So just know they would give you the shirt off their back, and in one case they did, man. They gave me the shirt that I wanted. I wanted an Oliver Magnum shirt. Dude fucking took it off. I learned from that. They taught me so much. They taught me such essential things, like when you're on stage, it doesn't matter if there's one person, 100 people, or 100,000 people. You play that fucking shit, man. You play it like there's a 100,000 all the time. Beat that shit up, because the one person in that crowd that's there might be an AR representative, and they'll say, holy shit, I was the only person there, and they threw down like a motherfucker, man. They taught me to always wear your own brand on stage, because the people in the crowd, they see that. They want to wear it, man. They taught me to go from the stage directly to the merch booth. If people want to talk to you, let them talk to you at the merch booth. They might pick something up. You can give shit away. I mean, yes. The rarest band I think that everyone should listen to, that deserves so much more acclaim, Oliver Magnum out of Enid, Oklahoma. A case closed. I like some local bands here. I don't know if you'll ever hear them. Bands like In Elements, Death Ride, bands like that. Support your local scene. Go to shitty little local shows and watch fucking garage bands, because they've got the balls. They're fucking doing it, man. Boom. That's how it starts out, man. That is where therein true metal is born. And so,
Amen, man.
so thank you. That was Raining on Your Parade that said that.
Yep. I got John, Bitbot Boom again, wants to know, Bill, are you 1969, 70, or 71? Damn, exact same story as me, Jesse's Girl, and Kiss second grade. Ha!
I'm born 1970.
He was right on it.
That's when my mom pooped me out. Same though, that's when the MTV first came out. So you only had like a couple things. Jesse's Girl's one of the songs. Yes, he is a friend. Yeah, you know, he's been a good friend of mine. And it was kind of cheesy, but he had that fucking sound. He did that. He did that electrified fucking chord, man. And I was there. Then I had to find bands that did it all the time, because then there was this band, Yes, and the owner of A Lonely Heart starts out really cool. It starts out, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. And then it goes into bump, the dump. I'm like, where'd the guitar go? Play that. Oh no. So no, therein we are united through that sound. He knows we're the same age, older than the hills, but we still could fuck all night and ride all day, baby. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Got another buddy of mine that came in, Brendan Van Doom. He's a Aussie. He says they're lucky enough to be seeing bands live again. So
finally, tell him I said good day, mate. We'll put a fucking another shrimp on the bobby. We'll get fucked up and throw that shit down me. AC/DC, Bon Scott. Need I say more?
You could just say Bon Scott. And that's like a complete sentence, like a paragraph, really.
Yeah, say no more.
So I think we've kind of hit on this about your influences as a guitarist. Is there anyone else that you would say kind of influenced you, you know, even different genres?
Okay, well, back in the day, I was really influenced by side one of High and Dry by Def Leppard. I love that to this day. I used to listen to it on the headphones, and I was looking at the fucking the packet that comes in the record, you know, and those kids were so young. Pete Willis, his guitar was bigger than he was. I think he was 14 when they recorded it. Fucking Rick Allen, the drummer, was fucking 13, and I was a kid, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. And I mean, all the riffs are just so fucking crisp. Side one only. But, then of course, Randy Rhodes. Anything by fucking Randy Rhodes. I mean, to this day, I get chill bumps when he plays a lead. I'll be walking anywhere, and if like Over the Mountain comes on, or I don't know, the guitar lead will stop me, and I will stare off like a zombie and just chill bump listening to him. He was an amazing shit. Nowadays, I mean, my influences are still pretty much the same. I am a Clutch super fan. I love everything Clutch ever did, ever will do, could possibly conceive of. I think Neil Fallon is a genius. He's like a combination of a contemporary William Shakespeare and Fraser Crane. I love everything Clutch does. I'm a big fan of Monster Magnet. I also like good hardcore bands, No Effects, The Accused. One of my all-time favorite albums is The Maddest Stories Ever Told. That might be one of my top one. I'm not sure. But then, you know, bands like 311, Municipal Waste, one of the newer ones, Jungle Rot, Stuck Mojo, bands like that.
Stuck Mojo.
Oh, fuck, dude. Rising. Yeah, dude. Have you ever seen them?
Yes. Long time ago.
Fuck you. Really? Oh, man. I never got to see them. So I watch them on YouTube all the time. Rising is such a great album. God, they throw that shit down. That's about the time, 96 or so. That's when we were playing Last Supper, and we were trying to do rap thrash at the same time too. But they just did it so well, man.
Oh my God, "You're Not Promised Tomorrow" is one of my favorite songs, where it's kind of the rap metal influence.
Really?
Oh yeah, that and the whole Judgment Night soundtrack.
Oh yeah, no, Bones is the man for vocals, but God, they're so tight. That drummer he beats it like it owes him, he owes him money. I mean, he is just so fucking.
We've got a troll in the chat. Somebody named I don't know, somebody named Nikki Tressler. I don't know who that is. They say, "Hey, Dad,
Hey, Thomas, what's up, Nikki? God damn it, that's my boy. He is
I know.
amazing. If anyone gets a chance, go to my YouTube site, look up. You just have to search Bill Tressler. William Tressler is the one that gets my new stuff. My son is on there playing the guitar, playing the bass. I mean, he's amazing. He is so fucking cool. He's 14 right now. But at the time, I think he was like 12, and he taught himself a System of a Down song. He taught himself how to play shimmy. He's like, Dad, listen to this. And fucking played it. And I was like,
Is
holy
that the
fuck.
System of a Down? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
He taught himself the song shimmy. And so I've got that video on my site. If you just search William Tressler, son, it's good to hear from you. Tell my daughter Charlie I said hello. I'm so glad you trolled me. Fucking A, man. He's my boy. He's the next generation power metal. And it's taken me fucking 30 years to walk and talk on the guitar and make it look like nothing. This kid picked it up in like 3 years, man. And I was like, you little shit. What are you doing? Why are you making it so good? And I mean, he's fucking amazing. His sister got a voice like you wouldn't believe, but she's a fantastic writer. She's just like me and that, but she's better. They're better. They're Bill Tressler 2.0, and they're fucking amazing. I love you kids. Thank you for trolling me, man. All is good. Tressler. Team Tressler.
Yeah. We had a couple of people shout out Ludacris and Scatterbrain, which I'm a fan of both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Scatterbrain, didn't they become Ludacris or something?
I think it's the other way around. Like some of the members went on from Ludacris to be Scatterbrain, right?
Don't call me dude.
Yeah.
No, I love them too.
Here Comes Troubles. I had that one.
Oh, really?
All right. So I think we've talked about some of these. Now, we've talked about your influences, but now I want you to give me your favorite album or top 3, top 5, whatever heavy metal albums of all time.
Wow, that is tough. That's like picking your favorite kid. That's man. Okay. The ones that come to mind immediately are The Accused, Maddest Stories Ever Told, 311 Music. Oh man, I would have to say Monster Magnet, Power Trip. Like I said, side 1 of High and Dry, for sure. Black Sabbath, The Mob Rules. And Clutch, Elephant Riders. I'm really getting right now into From Beale Street to Oblivion. I just love it. I obsess on a new Clutch album every 6 months or so. Blast Tyrant was cool. And then I have to mention once again, Oliver Magnum Drive-By. 4 or 5 songs of pure fucking shred, as far as I'm concerned. But I love any band I know. If I know them personally, fuck, I give it up. Farley, I think your band was badass. I love your voice. I know you don't like it. I thought you were fucking great, man. I want to do a collab with you because that's how fucking good you are. So if you ever get bored, want to do a long distance, I'm all about it, man. So yeah, that's what I'd have to say. Stuck Mojo's Rising is another quintessential for me. Mr. Bungle's first, self-titled. I love that. No Effects, Ribbed. I know I'm giving you all these. I'm giving you so many. Kiss, Destroyer, when it came out. I mean, that's picking my favorite kid. I can't do it, man. But those are definitely my favorite. And Rain and Blood, yeah. There you go, baby. The Mighty Slayer.
John wants to know what was your first. Before I say it, Ludacris was before Scatterbrain.
Okay.
And then John wants to know which is your first Sabbath record.
My first Sabbath record was the Mob Rules. The Mob Rules with Ronnie James Dio. God, they were so good. Sign of the Southern Cross. Just beautiful all the way through. I remember back in the day, when we were playing records, I would listen to the shit on the headphones. And headphones are a different trip, man. They take you to a different world. So yeah, that was my first Sabbath record. At the time, though, I liked Ozzy much better than Sabbath. Randy Rhodes, Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman. I was just amazed by that. I mean, God, crisp shit. But Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, fuck, you've got to love them, man. They are They are the true godfathers of our fucking music. Ozzy Osbourne, nothing but love. I would love to fucking stand around with the guy, even if he can do nothing but just drool on me. I will collect some of that so I can clone you, man. That's how much I love him. Yes, absolutely. First Sabbath album, Mob Rules.
I was. Have you ever watched the show? And I can't remember the name of it, but it's where Ozzy and his son go around to different places together. So, like a reality show.
Is this a new one?
Yeah, it's. I don't know what it's called. It's been on 3 or 4 years, I'd say. But they go to this place where they store music underground. So, I guess if the world ends and they have to rebuild the planet, so they have this music stored, and he actually hears Randy Rhodes solo he hasn't heard before, and he actually like tears up. It's like the first time he's heard it in years, or I don't remember the exact score, but I remember him tearing up hearing it.
Oh man, no, I haven't seen that. I used to watch the Osbournes though. I love that. Yeah. When Sharon got him Bubbles, a bubble maker's like, Sharon, God damn it, I'm the fucking Prince of Darkness. Bubbles, Sharon. I love him. He's amazing. He's one dude I would love to meet if I ever could, man. And just pinch him on his ass and say, "You've given me so much."
I've never seen him live. That's one of those where I hope there's one more tour. I don't know, but I'm hoping there's one more because I'm going, even if I have to drive.
I saw Ozzy Osbourne, unfortunately not with Randy. I saw him with Jake Lee when Metallica opened up and they did their Master of Puppets tour. So I was just sperming in my fucking pants, man, that whole time. That was a badass show, man.
Let me ask you this. Can you tell me, like, I've seen some of your videos, Last Supper. Can you talk about some of the things you've been doing since Animosity over the years, musically?
Sure. Well, Last Supper came directly after Animosity. We had a couple of incarnations of Animosity after it shit the bed. We got a new lineup. We've got some of those videos on my YouTube site. Just search for Bill Tressler, William Tressler on YouTube. And then we started Last Supper. Last Supper, I jumped on bass and did some vocals. We blew up Pete's arms. Pete was the drummer for Animosity, and we put him through so much shit during the recording to get off my back. We fucked him up. We blew him up. Well, he was in a band before that called Expatriate. Great hardcore band. If you ever get a chance, it's rare. Find No Sleep Till Chugwater. Just a fucking great 7-inch. Well, I wanted, because he was sad. He couldn't play live anymore because he couldn't even pick up a stick, couldn't hold a fucking stick. We blew his arms up that bad. And I was like, we got to get this guy back on stage. So I had him try out for vocals. We started doing Last Supper. We recorded some shit. We recorded our demo called Pass the Beans. And we recorded a full-length CD called Now Serving. And then somehow I got kicked out of my own band, which I don't know how that happens. But so they still do shows. And,
do they?
Yeah. They come and they do their reunion shows. Then they'll call me up and I'll go do a cameo. I never get paid for the fucking things. They throw me like a shirt, a couple of stickers. Though they play 80% of my songs on stage, but I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about that. It's about music. I'll make more. I'll make better. I just dig the fact that they've been keeping the brand going this whole time. So Last Supper was pretty big at the time. When that blew up, I was asked to do vocals for one of my friend's bands. It was called Association Outward at the time. I shortened that to Ass Out. We did a full-length album called Too Heavy to Lift. You can't get it anywhere. I sent it to you, Farley. It is in the fucking mail. Yes, check it out. 10 songs. I'm doing the vocals. I was just getting comfortable in the vocals too. And the reason that one broke up was because the bass player Stan contracted HIV from a crack whore. The drummer, the guitarist Dave Pello got busted on a no-knock raid with 100 clones in his basement. And the drummer Mike and I were like, I guess we're not in a band anymore. So that went to shit. But I sent you that. Check it out. Tell me if you like it. And then I was in a band called DK. DK was fun. I was back on guitar. That was a culmination of this bass player I know from here, Todd Grove, his band Blistering Body Pus. He's been in a dozen bands since then. And Jeff Montoya from Catheter, doom metal band. Catheter was the other guitarist. Uh, yeah, we blew shit up there. Decay, my last band, I played bass again. I do anything, man. I mean, I'm like a jackass of all trades. And I was in a band called OFL, and I played bass. We didn't do any albums, you know. We just played a couple of shows, blew up. If anybody's interested, man, I'm into jamming. You know, long distance. I want to get into vocals again because I can't move the fuck around. I can't shred like I can shred the guitar. I just can't move. You know, I'll throw out my hip, my eye will fall out. I'll pop a nut, everything. You know, but I really miss being on stage. I really miss playing. I miss the practice room. I just want to be in a dingy, smelly, shitty fucking practice room writing songs because that's where magic happens, man. That's where true metal is born. Anyone wants to get together, come see me.
We're gonna jam. Sorry, you see my dog. I don't know if you can see his face, but he says,
you do.
"Hey, you can't see him, but
what's his name?"
Gray Man tried to share the link to your channel, but it didn't show up, and so he says that he tried to, but YouTube didn't allow it to show up. Brendan Van Doom says the new Mr. Bungle rips. Didn't they re-record their first album with Scott Ian? Am I mistaken about that? I think.
I have no idea. It's rare I can buy a new album, and I mean their first one is just so majestic. Squeeze Me Macaroni, Carousel, fucking. I mean it's just all the songs on there. Stub a Dub, Girls of Porn. Give me no other song in the world. If you can, give me Girls of Porn, because the Girls of Porn want more. I don't know anything new they've done. I remember on it was my 24th birthday, somebody bought me Disco Volante. They handed it to me, and then we ended up eating acid and going to the paint mines and watching the sunrise. We're playing Disco Volante. So I've got some good sense memories for them.
Toasterhead says, hell, Pete was barely through puberty when he started drumming for Animosity.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to say this right. El Jefe? Am I saying that right? El
Jefe.
Yeah. And then Nikki says, I remember going into the practice room just watching. That had to be awesome. Now you get to go watch Nikki play.
Dude, I'm all about it. I'll be his roadie any day, man, because he's my boy. He's grown up to be just the nicest dude ever. And he just, everything he touches turns to gold. He can play good drums. He's got his double bass down. His guitar is amazing. If you go to my site, if you go to William Tressler at the YouTube, check out amazing 11-year-old plays bass to Sick of It All.
That's the first one I saw.
Oh, that's the first one you saw. Yeah, we do a rendition of The Shield. And fuck, I mean, he pulls it off. We let him cut class that day, actually. We left him home. We said, you're coming with us, man. I'm going to take you to a practice room. We're going to break your cherry. You're going to find out what it's like. So the drummer that was with us, he was the drummer in Ass Out, the drummer for Last Supper for a while, was Mike. And he learned it that day. He learned the song that day. Nikki, we all jammed it the first time that day, and he pulled it off, man. I mean, he'll be embarrassed by it because he thinks like, oh, I'm so much better now. But dude, that was awesome. You were 11 years old playing the bass to a Sick of It All song. How cool is that? So good, Nikki. I'm glad. Keep messaging me, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep following too. So stuck up.
Very cool. Very cool.
So kind of to get away from music and guitar just for a second, I read some of the things, the articles that you had wrote. Can you tell me about your writings and where those articles you're doing? Where is that? Is that a magazine? And tell me kind of what inspiration for that was.
Okay. Well, I started writing when Wendy started putting out Pit Magazine. She needed contributors, and I was one of them, man. I was pumped full of speed most of those days, and she had me writing. I did interviews with bands. I did CD, demo, and movie reviews. I did a trash horoscope column called Pitascope. So that's really where I started writing. But I've been writing ever since. I love writing. Only recently have I gotten published. There's this paper out here called the Prairie Times. This girl, Charity Bishop, she's the publisher, editor of it, and she buys my stories. That is like, it's amazing to me. That's like printing out a lottery ticket. all the years I've been doing music, I've probably gotten $20, man. Never getting paid for the shit. And now every month I get like my own lottery ticket for like $15, $30 sometimes. And I'm just pickled tink about it, So drink. I just said, again. So drink.
Yeah.
So that's really where I got started on that. I'm glad you like it. Just Google Prairie Times, the first Monday of every month. This month, I'm on page 3 with a story called Bed Battles. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's tame. It's more of a Christian slanted. She wants everything to be kind of happy and uplifting. I write some really dark, really gross, really sexual, maniacal things, but it's pretty cool. If you want, I would like to recite you a poem of mine.
Okay.
It's the only rhyming poem that I have. I'm very proud of it. I might fuck it up, and it's about something I know rather well. It's about my dick, and it's called, succinctly enough, My Dick. Though may you be of average size, the need for you it doth arise, and grow you by tenfold in size, when seeking wedded hairy prize. And know you this about our cocks, they won't engage in boring talks, and won't invest in bonds and stocks, but find its joy inside your box. Know not why or where you're from, when spewing forth much jet stream come, in rhythm like a beating drum, all over your spread white cheek bum. Now heed you this, our only trick, starts small at first, but soon grows thick, hardens like a mason's brick. My friend, my pal, my life, my dick.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm curtsying right now.
The bar. That's pretty damn awesome.
Turn that into a damn song. Yeah, we'll turn that into a song, man.
A show like that.
You turn that into a damn song, we'll throw it down, man. It's something I know very well. I know about my dick.
John says after years of playing in bands, he realized the part he missed the most is talking and playing in the practice spaces.
The practice space is where it's at, man. Sitting around with 3 other smelly dudes, drinking a beer, got my wife over there loading bongs, just gargling away, writing fucking music. I could do that forever. I miss it. I miss the smells. I miss the whole thing, man. I miss it like anything. If I come back as a ghost, it's going to be in somebody's practice room. I'm going to haunt a practice room, man, because that's where life begins. That's where life ends. That's where life is. Thank you, man.
I would think that you would haunt like a nightclub women's bathroom.
I was thinking about that too, and like the Playboy Mansion. But that's why ghosts are always so fucking sad. That's why they're always so. Because imagine you have invisibility. You can actually sneak in and watch girls in the shower and you watch them all having naked pillow fights. But you're not physical. You can't jerk off. Your hand goes right through it. So that's why they're like, oh. You can watch naked chicks, but you can't do anything with it, man. That's why ghosts are bummed.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You got some compliments on your poem from a few peoples. Gray Man says you should sub his channel because it has metal and poetry. That's true. He has like a poem a day, like a poem of the day. And he's the guy that I was telling you about, did some interviews. I don't know who this person is, but I think they might know you. Air Vengeance 318. Practice space next to Domino's was the best. Ended up as the Mosh Pit record store.
Yes, absolutely. I remember that well. I remember the green couch. Having sex with a girl on the green couch. That's where we wrote a lot of our good Animosity shit, man. That's where, it became Mosh Pit Records. Circle Avenue in Colorado Springs, next to the Domino's Pizza. You bet. Good times were held there all the time. Air Vengeance, what's up, man? Love you too, baby.
We've been talking for a while now. You had mentioned a guy came up to you and kind of just out of the blue had something to say about Get Off My Back EP. Can you tell us any of that?
I certainly can, and I'll probably wind down with this one because my old ass. I got to go and have sex with my wife. No, just kidding. Okay, so check this out, man. I'm with my band DK, We're opening for DRI at the Black Sheep in Colorado Springs. Now, I apologize right off the bat because I get a little misty-eyed sometimes talking about this because it's fucking powerful. So I'm there. I got my wife and kids, my toddler-age kids. They're behind the merch booth with me. I'm setting up the merchandise. I've got a stack of Animosity cassettes that I'm giving away, just giving them away for free. This big guy comes walking by. He's got a pretty girlfriend with him. He looks and he sees the stack of Animosity records. He's like, "Oh my God, I love that band. That's one of my favorite bands from high school." And I said, "Well, hey man, that's me, you know." And he was like, "Can you come around here? Can you come around the table?" And I said, "Okay." You know, not forgetting Mark David Chapman and that whole thing with John Lennon. But I'm pretty hands-on with people that like my shit. So I went around there. This big guy grabs me and hugs me. Oh, really big. Then he picks me up. He had to pick me up. That's how big he was. Gave me a kiss on my forehead and said, "I'd like to tell you a story." And I thought, this is going to be the weirdest threesome I've ever had. Because my wife and kids are right over there, man.
Yeah.
So he tells me the story about how when he was a teenager, he's a little scrawny teenager. And he and his mom had this place, and his mom's boyfriend moved in, and his mom's boyfriend was just a douchebag. Would come home drunk, start slapping his mom around, and when the kid would try to intervene, he'd kick the kid's ass. Just dreaded it. Just a real douchebag like that. Well, I guess this kid met me outside of one of our clubs that we were playing at. He couldn't get in. He was just a kid. And I guess I gave him all the time in the world, man. I gave him cassette tapes and stickers. I think I even gave him my T-shirt, man. I had to trade with him. His was a little couple sizes too small, but I don't fucking care, man. Gave him my shirt. I said, "Yeah, man, come see us when we're playing somewhere all ages, Gave him an autograph, probably gave him my phone number, gave him everything I could. He said he went home and just with stars in his eyes. The next day, he was sitting around dreading his mom's boyfriend coming home, just worried shit. So he puts on our tape, puts on headphones, and he listens to it. Then he listens to it again. Then he listens to it again. And he said, something about that made me want to stand up and reclaim my mom and reclaim my house. I had your music playing in my mind when my stepdad or when my mom's boyfriend came home. He said he just beat the shit out of that guy, man. Tattooed him, took a bat, fucked him up, knocked him fucking all around, got crazy. And by the end of it, he's throwing the guy's shit out. His mom found strength too, helped him throw the shit out, got a restraining order against the guy. The guy didn't want to come back anyways. He didn't want to come back. He was like, "Fuck that." Yeah. I got my ass kicked. And this guy told me, "You're the one who fucking did that. You gave me the strength and the courage. Your music made me change my life for the better." And I said, "No, dude, you're the hero here. You're the one who fucking found the courage. You're the one who fucking kicked his ass and took your mom back, took your life back." And he said, "No, it was your music in my ears that gave me that." And he said, "Now I want to fucking thank you. I want to thank you." He hugged me one more time, and I gave him 4 cassettes. I said, "Just take it, man." But so that should be a lesson to anybody who's in a garage band right now. Man, you may think, you may be putting out demo tapes on your own nickel. People might be telling you suck, playing in front of fucking one person, whatever the fuck. Sometimes, just sometimes what you're doing, it changes people's lives for the better. I had no idea that I helped that guy's life so. And he told me that. I didn't catch his name. He didn't think to leave it. But that always stayed with me. It wasn't just fucking music. It wasn't just an album. It changed somebody's fucking life for the better. And that is fucking metal. That is, it's touching. It's cooler than shit. That's my big story. That's my big bow out story. I think my phone's got like 14% on it now because it's really lame. Like I said, it's a really lame phone. It's so old. It's a fucking rotary dial cell phone. So I do want to say that, dude, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you don't know how your shit affects people until they fucking tell you. So all the garage bands of the world unite. You are the fucking power. We are the chosen people, the ones who are in metal. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, just go to my YouTube sites. Like I said, search William Tressler or Bill Tressler, Tressler. Or you can email me at my email address, and that is dapperdanman000 at gmail.com. If I have the minutes on my phone, I will get back to you. I'll send you the fucking shirt off my back because that's the kind of guy I am. I love it. Farley, you are the man. Thank you so much for having me. I just love you. I love the shit. You got a stalker now, man, because I'm gonna be text messaging you at all hours of the night. Eventually, you're gonna get sick of me. You're gonna be like, God, this dude just won't shut up.
You know me, man. Metal saved my life, and so I know exactly how important metal is to people, man. So
fuck yeah, it is an underground community. It's just like my wife was saying, it doesn't matter where you're at in the fucking world. You may not speak the language of the country you're in, but if you find a concert and someone's wearing a fucking Metallica shirt and you are wearing a Metallica, you found community. You found a floor you can sleep on. You found drugs you can do. You found food you can eat. It is a community unto itself. I am proud to be a member of it. I'm proud to have recorded. I'm proud to be on your show, Farley. Fucking the Nerdcave rules forever.
Real quick before we go, John Bitbot Boom says, "What a story! Thank you." Air Vengeance misses you, loves you. Nikki says he loves you. Sorry he missed quite a lot of the show. Thank you, Bill. Stay heavy. And Toaster Head, Pete's trying to chat, can't find the button. I don't know what that means. Pete, I don't know. LOL. So I want to thank everybody in the chat, everybody that supports my channel, that supports Bill, whether it's his music or his channel or anything, man. Metal. Thanks for coming tonight. I love all you guys. And Bill, thanks for the past few weeks, man, talking back and forth, and I look forward to it. Thanks for everything you've done, man. You rock.
Well, we're buddies now for life. We're buddies for life. I will keep in touch. Let's do this again sometime. Let's fucking pull over something. You did a fantastic first interview, man. You're a hero to me. I love your fucking site. I love your channel. I love your subscribers. Come on over, man. Let's hang out. We'll get naked and drunk sometime. Let's do it. Yeah.
You take care, man. Real quick, Zane Knowles. This is Zane. Metal Rules.
Oh, Zane Knowles, baby. Thank you for the car. I bought a car from him. It's still running. Thank you so much, Zane. Cool. Love you all so much.
Thank you, man. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great night, man.
Peace to you, baby. Out.
Stay metal. Farley out.